These crispy donuts come together in a minute and the crunch is unreal. Hard to believe you only need 5 ingredients. So let's crunch them together. And Violet, let's cook with me. Without further ado, let's start kneading the yeast-free dough for my sweet strips. To do this, I crack 1 large egg into a deep bowl. It weighs about 65 grams with the eggshell. Then pour 20 grams of vanilla sugar for flavor. And my favorite pinch of salt because what would it be without it? Stir the mess with a fork or whisk until smooth. As you may have noticed, I don't add simple white sugar so the dough itself won't be sweet. All the sweetness is revealed at the end like a golden snitch. Finally, add the flour. I'll need about 110-120 grams. Before mixing, sift it through a fine sieve into the wet ingredients. I'm looking forward to a delicious snack. All that's left is to knead a wonderful dough. When the dough has thickened and becomes difficult to stir with a spatula, switch on a manual mode. The dough needs to be kneaded very well, crumbs need to be picked up, and it needs to be formed into the whole ball. The dough should be quite stiff. This is its ideal texture right after kneading. After stabilizing, it will become a little softer. About stabilizing, I let it rest a little before rolling it out. Cover the bowl in a food wrap and leave it on a table for 30 minutes. Do not put it in the fridge or, God forbid, the freezer. The dough should become soft at room temperature. The dough has stabilized well, become much softer, and is ready to use. Now all that remains is to roll out the dough into a circle and cut out strips. At first, the dough may be difficult to roll out, but after a few minutes, everything will go smoothly. Roll out the dough as thinly as possible. The best thickness is like a thick sheet of paper. In total, this process took me about 7-10 minutes. This is how thin my dough turned out, and the next step is to cut it into long shaped pieces. I try to make it as even as possible in width, but it all depends on the situation. Then I cut each of this part diagonally into 3-4 pieces. You should end up with the diamond shapes or simple bits of dough. Now I'll show you how to give these diamonds their final strip shape. Make a medium-sized cut in the center, not too long. Then push one of the corners of the dough into this cut, pull it out from the other side and smooth it good, so then you get the shape of a strip or a ribbon. In order not to interrupt the process, I will form all the diamonds into strips and then I'm gonna fry them. I always love forming these ribbons, some kind of buns or pastries with my hands. It calms me down so meditatively. Here are the beauties I ended up with. Some a little bigger, some a little smaller, but this will not affect the taste anyway. Well, now let's go cook them. I will cook them in a frying pan. Put it on a medium heat, pour in oil for frying and let it heat up well. Do not dip the strips into cold oil as they will fry unevenly. This applies to any baked goods. Carefully place strips one by one in the pan and fry them well on both sides. They will noticeably increase in size and puff up like Harry Potter's aunt, which is good. When you see that their corners have turned golden brown, it means it's time to flip them over and fry the other side. In general, frying is very quick. The strips cook right before you know and are ready in a few moments. I take them out of the oil and put them on a plate covered with a napkin in advance so that the excess oil drains off and doesn't stay on my treats. This way, fry all the strips until they are a rich amber color and after let them cool well. I always make this recipe when I'm practically out of money and still have 2 weeks to go until payday. When the ribbons have cooled down, I will reveal the golden snitch of sweetness to you, namely 100 grams of icing sugar, with a light wave of a sieve and sweetened strips turned into sweet, crunchy snacks. That's all for today. More recipes next week. See you next time. Big hug, yours Violet.